So, brother, you want the toast or you want me to call it? This your show. You got to get it.
Man, you know what?
You got to get the shit.
Toast to us, man. First of all, we woke up this morning, so thank God. That's the first toast. Thank you, Benny. You know what I'm saying? Toast to the podcast.
Yes, sir. The first of many.
I'm really excited, man. Like, today was a very productive day. We got a lot done in like 4 hours, bro. Like, and kind of realized that, which kind of cliche as it is to say, anything you put your mind to, we'll knock it out. So,
right.
Let's have some fun.
Goddamn right. Congratulations, my man. I'm very happy for you.
Beamer Boys, toast to the new witch.
Toast to the Beamer Boys. We can keep going, Keep going, keep scoring.
Shit is good.
Keep going, keep scoring.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really cool to see things coming to fruition.
Isn't it? It's a beautiful thing.
Cool. Oh, it's so crazy. Who says that, right?
Matt.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, rest in peace, man.
A beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Those are the lovely beats by who's your boy who made it?
Oh man, I'm about to find his name and shout him out. Dub is his name though. It's twin brothers, man. Frito. Shout out to Frito Gang, man.
Shout out to Frito Gang. Lovely intro. Welcome everybody. Introducing to you today, we have my man Big Meach. I call him Big Meach. Y'all might know him as Demetrius. Your last name is Saunders, right?
Sanders.
Okay. I always like the Saunders thing is like it's tough. It's tough.
It hurts,
it's tough. Sanders. Okay. Demetrius Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
Okay.
All my cousins and uncles.
Okay. Gotta get it down. Sanders. My man Demetrius Sanders. This is his new podcast venture. I'm gonna be along on the ride with him. It's my boy, my brother from another. Welcome to Meaches and Cream. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? So, Meach, how you feeling?
I feel great, man. Like I was telling you, bro, it's kind of cool to see things coming to fruition, bro. It's super cool to first, if I tangent, thank you, because you forced me to do some things sometimes. Of course. You step out of my comfort zone, so it's fun. It's fun. I like this. Nothing good happens in that comfort zone, so I like this.
Absolutely nothing. You're good. Just to give y'all a little background how it started, I just got out the shower this morning. I see a tweet.
I thought you was going to say.
No. You're like, that could have went a lot of ways. At my crib.
Yeah.
At my crib.
You got to shower here at home.
Stupid. Meach had tweeted, and he didn't mention me. I literally just got out, dried off and everything, and then looked at my Twitter. Saw Dave's going to help me set up the podcast. We talked about this last Saturday, I think. And so, as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, fuck it. Let's go ahead and let's get it going. So, tweeted back. I'll be like, man, give me a few. I'll be right over there. So, we're here after some Walmart trips. You know what I'm saying? And after some exploration, some talking.
Beamer Boys
are doing the damn thing. So, shout out to YouTube viewership, Twitch viewership, Facebook, whatever we're streaming this on. Shout out to everything.
XX and X, just in case I put it on there.
So, Meach, give the people a little rundown. Like, let them know, like, what inspired you to want to start this.
Actually, it's actually crazy. I don't know what video I was watching. I wish, in a perfect world, if I could get paid for this. Social philanthropists, right? And that's people that study people. So I feel like, in the simplest form, that's what podcasting is. And I like people. I figured out that, I don't know, and that's not something that people can really get paid for, just waking up and liking people. But I like humans. They're so interesting, and you never know who they are. And so I just like diving in and figuring out people, but also I like to let other people know that we're not so different. I'll see a tweet and somebody be like, oh man, I didn't want to move this morning because I had to piss, so I laid there for an extra 4 hours. And I'm like, that's me, that's me. So just little things, you know, let us know that we're all the same, you know, regardless of the color, size, shape. But also, I really like humans. She really like humans.
So you think more so like your curiosity got you into the podcast?
Yeah, definitely. Because like me and you were talking about, it was me and my brother we were talking about yesterday. I was like, bro, we don't know women and women don't know us. So I wish we would stop generalizing. I know past experience make us think what we think they're going to do, but we don't know each other at all, bro. Like I might do something tomorrow that I don't know I'm going to do. So that's mainly what it is. I'm like a cat. Where my cat at? My cat around here somewhere. Shout out to Legolas.
Legolas around here trying somewhere.
But being curious, man, really.
And so, like, correct me if I'm wrong, what you want the people to expect from this is future guests coming, some big names. We'll leave that off the table for now, but, you know, we got some big names coming. Some big names and some more so simple, I don't want to say, how do I say that? I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but more so simple people who are walking everyday life as well. Like, I think what Meaches' whole purpose is with this is trying to get a perspective on people so we can understand, like you said, the human aspect of people, regardless of the career, occupation, or the walk of life. But it's more so, I think the format that you're striving for here is more so just getting to know people, but also having a conversation with people, getting to understand whether it be traumas or what made them choose their career path and all that. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm sure this episode is like a pilot, so we're going to be flying through stuff. I don't know what to start off about. What is something that you would like to discuss? Is there anything heavy on your mind right now or at the forefront?
Man, let's see. Honestly, what was sitting on my chest without just rapid fire, without even being nervous, honestly, was like depression. Not that I'm sad or anything. It was just that a lot of people, you know, especially with Twitch passing away, you know, regardless of that conspiracy theory, whatever people think, just that check on your people. You know what I'm saying? Me, you was talking about this the other day. Not only, you know, sometimes if they on your mind, even just a small text message you do, it'll suffice. So just people hiding things, you know, and not like behind a smile. Like you never know, the happy-go-lucky person may be really hurting. So that's one thing that's on my mind. Disclaimer: I know people like, "Me, you okay?" No, I'm good. I'm so happy, but others aren't. So I do try to do my due diligence. I mean, I have some people that are really close to me that I know aren't doing well. So we can talk about that today.
What do you think is the root of that? Like you have, cause I think a lot of us experience it. And it's like you say, you don't really know till you know.
Man,
like somebody could be going through a battle within, and they just don't know how to express it. What do you think? What do you think that starts, not individually, but what do you think that starts as a person, and how do you think, is there any proper way to try to not release it, but to mitigate it, to try to work with it and cope with it?
I don't know, man. That's one of those things that's like, I can give an opinion, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things that doesn't have an answer to, you know, because if I had the answer to it, and you know what I mean, it's in a rude way at all, but like, if I had the answer to it, I'd give it to everybody, you know, like, I watched a special about people jumping off the Golden Gate, how many people jump off the Golden Gate Bridge in a year. If I could live by San Francisco, and every single one of them, like, here, read this, and it immediately would make them flip the script and be out of that depression, you know what I'm saying? So I had the answer, I'd give it, I don't know, but I think people two things, I think people think that expressing those feelings, especially men, people think they are, in women too, like expressing those feelings or talking to someone, they think it's a sign of weakness, or they don't want to be looked down upon. And then I think also that people don't know how to cope with it. So we just, like I was talking about earlier, bro, we just keep on chugging. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say I had work today and I told my boss I was sad. At the end of the day, if my staff called out, even if I'm sad, I got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? So I think we don't know. It's not, even though it's something that is real, mental health and depression, life doesn't necessarily have any fail safes for it. Life doesn't say, like, it's not like we were set up to say, like, for example, physically, if we get hurt, right? You know I can't go to work, right? So, like, we know that life has set up something for physical fail-safes, but mentally, it's not like, around the world, if someone's not doing okay mentally, not like a job will stop or work will stop or anything. So, I think we cope because we have no choice, really, you know?
Right.
Like, unless you're just sitting so much with money that, doesn't matter. You know, like if you make a whole bunch of money, like I'm not going to work today. Okay, I'm not going, but I gotta go to work sometimes. So
Right.
I think we have no choice but to cope. If that answers.
Do you think that? Do you think society has failed us? And when I say us, I'm talking about men. And if I want to get more specific, which I will, black men. Do you think society has failed us as far as outlets, healthy outlets, and I mean adequate outlets, not the you can talk to me whenever you need it. Has society failed us black men of having healthy, adequate outlets for releasing that type of depression?
100%. Now, definitely, you know, we're gonna dive into black men. There's two of us sitting here. Hello, but everybody, like if you think about it, right? Like if I say insane asylum right now, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? I think I knew what I want to tell you, but what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
Crazy.
Well, I was thinking Gotham Knights. Like,
I thought of that too.
Arkham. So we don't even have mental health hospitals. Like people say Laurel Ridge, and they're like, so like I think it's failed not only black men because we know the hurt that comes with being a black man. People don't understand that, you know, this anger we carry, but they don't know where it comes from. You know? So they don't understand being not only a man, being a black man. They don't understand pressure. So not only is it failed us, it's failed everybody, bro. There's no like. And I'm not, this is not an excuse for anybody who's done anything sick, crazy, nothing like that, but there's no way to see mental health and there's no real way to solve it other than medicating, which basically just, for the time being, levels out. Like medication doesn't necessarily solve a health problem, right? It kind of just like, hey, let's just wave it out, right? So I think it's failed everybody, and especially us, because if you don't know what it's like to be black, like random little tangent, you know that they thought black women, doctors, thought black women's pain tolerance was higher than the normal person, so they didn't give them medicine. So that's something right there. If you don't understand about being black, you don't know what it's like to go through it. So yes, not only has it failed us black men, and as well, it's failed everybody. Because even if, bro, someone's like, I don't like. We learn now. We mean you 31, I'm 30, right? But like, if we was 26 and you was like, hey, Meach, let's go play football today, and I texted you and was like, David, I'm not having a good day. At 26, we would have been like, motherfucker, come out here and play football. Come on, yeah. What you mean I'm not having a good day? What's not a good day? You know what I'm saying? But now we get it. You know, you just wake up some days like, oh, man. You know what I'm saying? So
where did this enlightenment of mental, because, you know, it's like you said, being a man is hard. Being a human is hard. I think average human life is hard. I think like if me and you were to go down Times Square and stop every person and be like, hey, what's the most traumatic thing that's ever happened in your life? We're gonna hear some wild shit from every person, literally every person. So my question is, when did this enlightenment period? I think we're gonna go back in history one day and see like today and maybe 5 years ago. When did this enlightenment period on mental health become a thing? Do you think like us men are more so just tired of having to uphold this burden all the time, and like we collectively, it's like, man, shit is tough. We need help.
I don't know. I know that is a super interesting question, just because the first part, what you said, when did it become a thing? Because it's almost like, when did we put our finger on? It's not like it was one person that was like, God damn it, something wrong with me, and everybody was like, oh shit, something wrong with him. Let's listen to him, because you know, like some of the greatest pianists, some of the greatest artists, all were like nutcases.
Yeah, you look like someone like Howard Hughes, who was locking himself in his apartment and shit.
Van Gogh had to be, he cut his own ear off. So these people were crazy. We just didn't necessarily dive into it, right? Like even if, you know, this is apples and oranges, because, you know, this is something we'll talk about in other episodes. You know, you're not comparison, but even something as far as there's been gay people all over the world for time. Now they're just it's more acceptable for them to come out. Mm-hmm. So there's been mentally health and sick people for a long time, but I don't know when the tide turned, when people was like, because it's almost okay now to say it's not, right? Which is crazy, but it's almost okay now to say like, I'm not okay. We're almost getting to that point where before, you know, as a man, like you ain't got time to not say I'm not okay. Like, bro, like I'll give you another example. I was helping wrap presents for these kids at work on the west side. And it kind of just made me think, bro. I almost teared up just sitting there by myself, nobody, just in thought, seeing some of those. It was a mom and a dad and like 3 or 4 kids on the paper. And I was like, man, I never missed a Christmas. Like my dad, like I ain't never missed a Christmas. He always got me and Jamel something. And I was just thinking, like, in my head, just going off on a tangent. I was like, Imagine working as hard as you can as a man. You're making all the bills work, right? You working a 9 to 5 and maybe even a second job, doing everything you can, and then you can't afford Christmas. Yeah. And everyone's looking at you. It's not like when you don't make Christmas happen. I know this sounds. I know anybody listening to this might be like, "Oh, I would tell my man like, but bro, you got to think. A kid doesn't understand. So they're gonna be like, Dad didn't get me Christmas. They don't know, and the wife is gonna be like, either you didn't get me nothing or you didn't get my kids Christmas. Y'all, it's rare that you're gonna find a person that's so understanding. It's like, man, he's busting his ass. I get it, but even kids, bro, and they don't do it on purpose. They don't understand. Right. So if they don't get presents on Christmas Day, then that's just another thing about being a man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We have to be the providers, which is, and we'll talk about this later or whenever, but gender roles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we got to be the provider. So it's a lot on us, because if you're not like actively seeking to have a family, people think you're crazy. Like if somebody asks me right now, like, why I don't got kids at 30? I'm like, nigga, I don't want no kids right now. Like, I'm selfish. They're like, what? Mm-hmm. Well, that's just because my parents had us so young, at 22 and 27. But yeah, no, it's real hard to be a man, and people don't understand. And
it's hard also with those, like, you have society norms, and it's like taboo if you dare step outside of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of people, like you just said, with the kids about 30, a lot of people be like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you have kids? And it's like, well, I don't know if that's necessarily something wrong with me, but if I choose to live my life to my standards and my life standards, and I'm not at the position where I want to have kids, whether that be selfish or not. And once again, selfish, I think me and you have talked about this off camera, but it's like a word with negative connotation that I don't think should personally be negative. But it's hard because you as a man, you have to try to satisfy, or I should say try to satisfy, but society looks at you, which is majority of people, and they say you should be doing this, this, and this by this age or by this time. But it's like, okay, I went through this, this, and this, so my story's a little different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, I know exactly what it's especially, this is a crazy thing, man. We can talk about this all day about social media, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we portray this life on there, and somebody 30 my age could see me. I just got a new whip. We both just got new Beamers, right?
Yes, sir.
They could see us having new whips and think, there's some 30-year-old or even older, a little older than us, and see me in the car you just got and thinking like, man, I really just wish I could afford what David and them got. But then they don't know that they're richer in another area that me and you don't have. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They can be more mentally prepared for life than me and you are right now. So people use social media, bro, and they compare each other. And it's so funny because I can post the best part of my life and people wouldn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Right. I can post like...
That's not totality.
Bro, at all.
That's not totality.
So, man, it's just...
comparison is the thief of joy. What do you think about that quote?
Man, it is because what you can do is you can mess around and not realize what you have, comparing yourself to others. And thank God I have some of the friends that I have that put me, like, show me the things that they showed me, because I can't compare myself to some of the things they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a new Beamer and somebody pulls around the corner in a Lamborghini. Well, I hate to quote him, but Gunna said, you know I don't crash, I stay in my lane. You know, if there's one thing I can't ever be, is that's Meach. And I feel like anybody that got to know me, I know. I mean, I maybe didn't try to boast out, maybe been here and there, but I don't step out of nowhere I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Yeah, comparing yourself, bro, really meant, that'll mess you up.
That will fuck you up.
I take social media breaks time to time, just because that's even me at this time, I can mess around and be like, man, okay, sometimes maybe wanting a female companion, right? You can see a lot, everybody posting their girls around holiday times or whatever. It'll make you want to be in that. But then it's like, you really think about it, I really keep my money for Christmas.
Right. Right, not argue.
I get up at 12:30 in the night and text my boys and say, where you at? I'm on the way. I don't want to have to explain that to nobody. Right, you know what I'm saying? I also don't want to have to just another, like we talk about kids, I also don't have to be like, oh man, can't go because I got to.
Yeah, gotta take care of little man.
I got a cat. I can leave her here. I can't leave my son with food in the room and the door closed.
Right, right. See you in the morning with it. Yeah, no, I think that's true. Like, I think we focus so much, especially if you're a perfectionist or somebody who's trying to always elevate. It's a term I coined called wicked content, Basically saying like you have to be happy with what you got, but at the same time know you could do more, but still it's like be grateful for what you do have. And so shit, I be thinking that all the time, man. Whenever I'm like having a bad day, I was having a bad day not too long ago, and I was driving down the street, and I looked to my right, and I saw somebody, you know, with the sign asking for money, and I was like, bro, stop complaining.
No, like, did you give him some money?
I gave him some money.
That's nice, because I got a man on walls and we beefing. If you see this,
you beefing with a homeless guy?
Listen.
I gotta hear this story.
Asking me money, bro. Listen, he's seen me drive a Scion. He's seen me drive my mom's Beamer. He's seen me drive my Beamer. He's seen me drive my new Beamer. So he think, oh, he's coming up in life. No, I just, you know, I'm blessed. You know, I work a little hard. And then he think that I'm gonna keep giving him money. But if I give him money every day, at this point he's on payroll. I'm not sure tell my job to hire him. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, if he's this consistent on this corner, he could get a job. So I'm beefing with him, man.
Beefing with homeless is nuts. Yeah. That's fucking nuts. I'm beefing with hilarious, though.
I got a question for you, though. I was thinking this earlier. Excuse me. What do you think? This is just hypothetical, right? I like to play games like this. If we could take judgment out of humans.
Judgment out of what?
Humans. And you know how people say, I don't judge.
That's so
it's a lot. Like, I even try not to judge people, right? But like, if you was like, hey, Meach, I'm gonna invite my boy over, he just want to participate in the podcast with us, right? And he just want to sit around and watch with us. And he walked in here and he immediately had on like a mesh shirt, right? Which is fine. But then like he had both of his nipples pierced and the mesh shirt went up to his nose. Now guys, not that means anything, but you got to think his immediate appearance could make me be like, huh? Mm-hmm. What? Now that's a judgment, right? Mm-hmm. So what if immediately there was if there was no way for it to exist in a human to be like, huh?
You will see a lot of authentic self.
Man,
I think a lot of people are afraid to truly be themselves because they fear that judgment of being themselves. And I'm not here. I don't know whether judgment is a good or bad thing, but what I will say is that when it comes down to judgment, like I think I always believe as long as you're not hurting nobody, you should be able to authentically be yourself. Whether that be, I don't judge anybody that's homosexual, the transsexual, whatever you choose to do your thing. But even you might have a guy who is from the hood, right? And he might have to put up this tough bravado or macho man act. But it's like when he gets behind closed doors, it's like nigga might not really be like that.
Oh, it's a lot of people.
It's a whole lot. I dare to say it's majority of the street cats.
Yeah, we know that.
So you know what I'm saying? Like
they missing love. We already know that.
Perfectly said.
We already know that.
Love can do. I always say people are going to go find love either in a positive or negative way, but they're going to go find love. They're gonna strive for it. If you ain't getting it from your home, if your parents ain't giving it to you, they might go to the streets and go try to find it. Might go to some friends to try to find it. And depending on that friend group, that could be positive or negative. So I feel like when it comes to love, which goes hand in hand with judgment, actually, these are things that are unavoidable in life. And so therefore, with that being said, like when people have a desire for something that's that important, because can you imagine, bro, like somebody without love? I think that's why the suicide rate is what it is. I think that's people who really truly don't feel love. Somebody who really feels love, I don't think that they decide to make that decision.
Man, I was diving into something deep while you was talking about that. I'm going to say this on our first pilot episode, on every episode that we ever do, anytime we interview somebody, and it's cliche to say, but I feel it's true in my heart. Love is the strongest thing on earth.
Yes,
indeed. Strongest thing. So much that it's people seek it in all different forms, if you really think about it, whether it's drugs, whether it's money, because people want money to feel good because they want either dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin,
antioxidants?
Hold on, let me see. You're going to quote me. There it is.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
I ain't never heard of that one.
Somebody that's listening to know how to
somebody be like, oxytocin.
Don't y'all know we say. So essentially, in the form, they're looking for one of those three drugs, right? Because that's what happens every time you are happy, right? When you're extremely happy, one of those three drugs, the oxytocin, whatever it's called, y'all, dopamine or serotonin. So in a sense, when people are getting high, when people are robbing or killing, because they like it, so those three are releasing. Yeah. So in a sense, love, when you love, those three are released, is the strongest thing on earth, bro. Like, and that's what people seek for really. So even those thugs, they're just missing. I tell people at work all the time, there's no such thing as a bad kid. It's just a kid that's seeking for love. And what people don't understand is that love comes in many forms, whether it's attention, right? Mm-hmm. So whether it's me saying, hey, it could be sit your ass down, or it's saying, hey, how was your day? So if no one's talking to this kid at home, and the only way he can get attention from somebody is by acting out, and then he knows now everybody gonna give him attention. Well, guess what he's gonna do every day? Act out. He gonna wow the hell out. Act the fuck out. Yeah. Goddamn right.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. I wanted to ask you. I wanted to double back a little bit. Forgive me. I wanted to talk because I know we started off with mental health and everything. I wanted to ask you, what do you I want you to discuss the negative sides of that. And when I say that, I mean more so, we live in a society where people try to take things for their advantage or use things for their advantage. What are your thoughts on people who play the mental health card for a cop-out?
Oh, man. So those type of people are very, very dangerous, right? Because, in a sense, I don't know how true this is. I actually did this research. This is one of those things I be saying because I didn't heard it somewhere and I then ran with it for 30 years. But, those people that are born without empathy, right? Those the people are dangerous. So those people that know how to use mental health is almost like a kid that knows that you can't touch him because you can't whoop him because you'll call CPS. They're very dangerous, right? So it's kind of like I don't even. Those people are scary, man. Because I've had it done to me. Because they'll say like they'll do something, and then their excuse will be that, I didn't know where I was, or I didn't know that I was acting that way. So they'll make an excuse for how they behave, which is crazy because in your great podcast that we just was at,
thank you, bro.
Shout out to Cold Coffee.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to Cold Coffee. I'm abuse that thing.
I know you love it. I see you. You got it, brother. My soundboard, your soundboard.
Slap that thing.
You got it.
But yeah, shout out to Cold Coffee. But accountability, you know what I'm saying? So at that point, bro, if you're really using mental health, knowing that people are hurting themselves and see, oh man, I can tangent all day, David. You never know me all my life.
Oh, you good?
Like that goes into as well. What was I going to say? My curiosity of humans. That it goes into initially why you asked me why I want to do this podcast, because little things like that at the same time as someone may cross me and I'm like, man, that was my friend, or when I looked out for them, I seen them a certain way. There's another side of me just like, why the fuck did they do that? Like, I gotta know, So like those people that use mental health for their advantage, man, that is scary. But at the same time, it's like, I want to learn. It's almost like I wish I could be a wallfly and be around them and listen to them, because and if they hear it, and if it's just the shoe fits. But I know a person in particular that moves a certain way to benefit them, and I feel, I'm not gonna dive too deep because they'll know that they use sometimes that they may be going through something in order to benefit them. You know what I'm saying? So that's so scary, because I've never seen this person do it to me, but I've heard it happen.
It's capable.
Yeah, so I've heard people be like, yeah, this person told me this, that, and the third. He or she may have said this and they couldn't be there. And then on the flip flop, I communicated with them that day and they was like, shit, I'm good. I'm like, Now, granted.
See, people like that are scary, bro, because you don't know if somebody's willing. I feel like if somebody's willing to take it that far with that, it's like, what are you not willing to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the question I ask myself. What are you not willing to do? Are you not willing to get in some type of crazy jam? God forbid I be with you. You got something you ain't supposed to have, and be like, oh, that's him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is the craziest and coolest part about life. This is why I love living, right? Because you never know what someone will do until they're there.
Yep.
Like they say, I see it on Fast and Furious, right? But the concept of it is insane. I think it was Fast and Furious. I don't know what movie it was. They put a bucket on someone's stomach and they put a rat on his stomach and they set the bucket on fire. What would a rat do? Chew down. He's going to get out of there because he can't get out of the metal, right? So you never know who people are until they're in that situation, Like, If me and David's in the car, y'all, and we get pulled over with drugs, and we in court, and they say, Meach, is it your guns and drugs? And I say, it ain't mine. It ain't mine. What? Then whose is it? You know what I'm saying? But I've been telling David for months, we out here thumbing David, and
take it to try.
I go down, take it to try. I go down, you go down. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah.
We ain't gonna be in that predicament. I told y'all long. Well, me and you both said it. We ain't. Look, I ain't built for that gangster life, man.
Oh, bro.
I ain't got time
I'm
for that.
built for the life I live.
Exactly.
Love, funniness, and hustle and motivate.
All that too hard shit.
I don't have to run into nothing. Even think about this. We might have had to put our hands on a few people. Well, me more because I used to talk shit as kids, but. I've never had to, like, if I didn't start some shit,
right.
I've never had to just be in shit. And even when we did, people wanted to fight for us because it was like, not Meach and David. Like, and I mean that humbly, guys. It's not like I'm just think I'm cool, but I feel like you treat people good and it'll come back.
Usually it comes back. You're going to run into an asshole every now and then. Keto. Me and you going to still talk. Homie. But every now and then you're going to run into one, but you know what I'm saying? That's life, dog. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, you treat people with respect, you're going to get it back. You're going to get it back 9 times out of 10. And so.
I believe that. My singing career going to pop off.
But no, brother, I think this was a dope first episode. I think we could wrap up here. I mean, we're hitting around 30 minutes right now. You have anything you want to say? Any other remarks? Any closing remarks? Anything?
No, man. I hope that y'all just see the format. I guess it is. I'm always open to suggestions. You guys can always hit me up and call me. I might not listen.
Oh, shout out your socials.
At Meaches. Actually, it's at _Meach on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? At _Meach on Instagram. Follow your boy. Meaches and Cream is also my Twitch. I'm not gonna give y'all my Xbox and Call of Duty name because I might get banned.
This boy be talking wild on the Call of Duty.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Be talking wild.
I don't know.
I'm coming for you, motherfucker.
That's a whole nother
talking wild on the duty.
Yeah, man. I just hope y'all see this is how it's gonna be, man. A little bit of just open discussion, just talking. Even I feel you're gonna see that some people might text me during this, and we're gonna respond to that. Start another conversation. So I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope y'all lock in and tell your friends and
tell a friend to tell a friend.
You know how it is, you know how it goes, and I appreciate David first of all for supporting me, and we finna kick this off.
No, this is just the beginning. This is gonna be huge. I'm telling y'all, we over here brainstorming. Expect some guests. We gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a human experience. We're gonna be laughing. We might shed a tear or two, but all in all, in totality of it, it's gonna be love. I'm very, very excited for this, man. I think this is gonna be awesome. I appreciate you for allowing me to be a part of this process. This is gonna be dope. But shout out to y'all, man. Meaches and Cream, the boys. We working on the intro, the outro, and all that. But appreciate y'all. Appreciate the viewership, and we're out. Holla at y'all next time.